You ever seen this movie, Bridge on the River Kwai?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Alec Guinness?
Yeah.
Yeah, Obi-Wan before he was Obi-Wan.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I love about that is there's so many stories. One of my sons in college was they used that as a story about first principles. And if I can go on about it for a minute, the first principles of these prisoners of war was to resist their captors, resist the Japanese. But then they got into building this bridge, giving them something to do. And that took on a mission of its own, took on a life of its own, building this bridge. And so when it finally came down to the end, they had to, now it was a critical thing as war material, as a strategic decision to blow this thing up. And they were torn because now they put all this effort into it. They got away from their first principles, which was, this is war. We're going to resist the Japanese, resist our captors. And it's so easy to do that with real estate, actually with any kind of investment.
Right.
But you get into this real estate thinking, okay, this is going to provide a lifestyle for me. It's going to provide for my family. And 30 years later, you're wake up one morning and you might realize, well, wait a second, this isn't providing a lifestyle from me. This is demanding a lifestyle from me. Right. And it's not a lifestyle I want anymore. Yep. You know, I don't want to be working for my passive income. We call that a job. So I think, it's funny what triggers different ideas. You know, maybe we'll talk about some John Wayne war movies next week. You know,
Sounds good. I mean, it makes me think of a guy I was talking to the other day. He was trying to plan a fishing trip for 3 weeks. He wanted to be gone. Bounce around to a bunch of different states. And the nagging thought in the back of his mind was that something's going to happen with one of my properties. And he was about a week into his fishing trip.
Yeah.
And something happened with one of his properties.
Oh boy.
He had to cut it short and go home.
Yeah.
And it's just that same idea of my lifestyle has changed. I want to do other things.
Yeah.
And these investments, as good as they are, as much as they've grown, are holding me back.
Yeah.
So what do I do?
Yeah. Well, with some of the tools that we have, they didn't even exist 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And so the democratizing, if you will, of good investment solutions, good portfolio level solutions, again, purpose has to come first, and then that informs our planning, and the planning then can inform what portfolio decision. But there's so many more options now available than there were 20, much less 30 years ago.